Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my little show about whitewater things. And today I want to talk about scouting. And this is more of a discussion. I'm going to share some thoughts with you. This is kind of informal. If at the end of this you have things to add or just pet peeves, please add them in the comment section below. It really helps. This isn't me lecturing you on how to scout. This is just some things I've learned I'd like to share. I'd love for you out there to add to this discussion. So please do. And also, while you're doing that, hit the like button, please, and think about subscribing. So let's get started. The first thing with scouting that comes to mind for me is if you have any doubts of whether or not to scout, just scout. Even if everybody blows down the rapid, you don't need to be macho. Just be like, hey, I want to scout. I want to look at it. Please do. And not just so you can see your route, but there could be hazards. There could be a log or ropes or just dangerous things in there. And so I always say, when in doubt, scout. And don't be afraid to do that. Next, when you are scouting, wear your PPE, wear your PFD. So PPE is personal protective equipment. Your PFD, your life jacket, your helmet, keep that stuff on. When you walk down to scout the rapid, you could slip in. It has happened, right? And you want to have this stuff on, or you could just trip and fall on a rock, and having this stuff to protect you really helps. But also, if you have this stuff plus a throw bag, you're able to perform some sort of rescue. You scouted the rapid because it's hard. So somebody could make a mistake. And so if you're fully kitted out and have a throw bag, you're at least ready to do something. And so please wear all your stuff. And finally, the last thing in terms of etiquette is when you pull into the eddy above a scout, just be thoughtful of others. Don't just pull your boat up and tie it up real quick and run off. Tie it up well so if somebody bumps it, it doesn't float down. Also, if you're in a group, have all your boats kind of put together. Don't just all up and down the beach so the next group coming down has to kind of figure out where to go. You definitely want to be thoughtful of other boats coming down. I know you get there, you're anxious, you're in a hurry to see the rapid, and you want to just run down really quick. But being thoughtful of others is a big deal. So those to me are like 3 pieces of etiquette. I think they're the baseline for scouting. And I want to go on to worms. Worms is a mnemonic we use when we teach scouting to just share some principles of scouting. And mnemonics I think, just exist so that instructors have something to remember all the things by. And so we'll go down this, and some of these are more important than others. So first of all, water, right? Basically, look where the water goes and look for your way down to the water. This is super obvious. I'm not even sure why I think W's only part of it so that it says worms and not orms, right? This one's super obvious. Next is obstacles. You're looking for obstacles. You're looking for logs, undercut rocks in your way. When I scout, a lot of the times, I'm literally just getting out and making sure there's nothing dangerous. So this is important because you're just looking for dangerous things. Again, super obvious. Next is route. Like, pick your route, right? And don't just pick your main route. Like, this is where I plan to go. Look at like, hey, if I mess up, is there a way to go over here? Are there like plan B's and C's? Or do I really need to make sure I hit A? That's good to know. So the next thing you want to do is pick your route. Again, super obvious, right? That's the whole point of scouting. The first 3 are pretty obvious, right? Look where the water's going, watch out for dangerous things, and pick where to go. These seem like no-brainers to me. The next one to me is the most important, markers. When you're scouting, you're seeing the river from the side of the shore and looking out at it. And a lot of times you're just looking at the dangerous stuff. You're looking at the big hole or the big rock. And when people scout, they're always focused on the hardest part. In my mind, you should be focused on the entrance, because when you come down into the rapid, you're coming up looking down straight at it. It's a different view from the side of the shore looking over. And so I've seen a lot of people scout the rapid, but then they enter and don't know where to go because they don't have markers. And markers are just little rocks or eddy lines or V's, just some feature in the river that you look at in the entrance from the side of the river, so that when you're coming down, you're like, oh yeah, I need to go right next to that rock, and it sets you up correctly in the entrance. This is critical. Again, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people scout some big gnarly thing, but enter way wrong because they're lost without a marker. And so in my mind, when I'm scouting, well, I'll get to what I do in a second. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The last one is swimmers and safety. How do I set safety? If somebody swims, how are we going to rescue them? So this could mean setting people with throw bags at the bottom. It could just be knowing the routes. If you fall out, you know where to go, right? Or you can tell people in your boat, hey, if we mess up here, I need you to swim to the right. So having a plan for swimmers and where they go. So this is the whole mnemonic. For me, when I'm scouting, I don't really do all of this personally. What I'm doing is I go down, I'm looking for obstacles. Is there anything super dangerous? Is there a clear route without hitting an obstacle? And then I look for markers. You know, how am I going to make my entrance? So I look for the dangerous stuff. I go to the top of the rapid, make sure I know how to enter, and I think about swimmers and safety. So if I was to make a new mnemonic, it would just be OMS, O-M-S. But for those of you that like longer mnemonics, worms is the full one for scouting. And I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff here, but those are my thoughts on scouting. If you have things to add, funny stories, what ifs, questions, as always, add those down in the comment section below. And yeah, see you next episode. Thanks.